you look at people, my son served in Iraq, you know, the Desert War II. And he actually seen this or have heard about it where, and you probably heard about it, where there's 3 or 4 Marines and a grenade of a type gets tossed at them, and one of them jumps on the grenade to save the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if he was going to rely on his morality, his Christian morality, and his Christian morality says that committing suicide, you wind up in purgatory or in hell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See? But the ethical thing to do for the most number of people there would be to jump on top of the grenade.
Mm-hmm.
See the difference?
Yeah, I see. Mm-hmm.
You know?
And Scientology emphasizes the ethical over morality.
Ethics.
And in order to understand what is ethical in any given situation, you have to progress up through is it called 8 drives or something like that? 8 levels, where it's, the first one is yourself, and then the next one is the urge to procreate your
and
family.
have family and stuff
then,
like that. Yeah, there are 8 urges and drives a human has, basically, yeah. And those you can find in various books.
Mm-hmm. And so with Scientology, you are, is that the same thing as clearing, is progressing through those?
Well, you have to clear each level.
Okay.
So you first clear yourself,
mm-hmm.
right? And ethics, ethics is from the get-go. You
mm-hmm.
have to have your ethics in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to not be on drugs. You got to not be doing criminal stuff. We had a guy come in the other day, wanted to do some counseling, and he fessed up that he had 5 or 6 shots, before he got here. This is not what this is about, It's like, we send him right out. No, you have to get his ethics in. So the next time he showed up, we talked to him about ethics and morality, and you want to drink? Go drink. You want self-empowerment and the ascension? Then come here without drinking, because drinking just slows you down. It screws you up. So anyway, so yeah, you have to get, ethics has to be in from presence from the get-go. And you get more and more ethical as you move up, as you clear every dynamic, And you have to clear those dynamics, and it's like, and the processing, the things we do go along with that, those dynamics. And eventually you get up to the 8th dynamic, which is the dynamic of infinity, or the God dynamic. And a lot of people have misunderstood what infinity means. When we say infinity, we mean no limits. So you get up there to a point where you have no limits. You can do and act ethically,
mm-hmm.
and at that level.
And what's my question? Does it take people a really long time to just get past the self one? I feel like that could take a very long time. Does it usually take the longest for that one, or? Well,
that's kind of like a main one. Mm-hmm. You want to go clear. You want to clear yourself of your mental hang-ups.
Mm-hmm.
How can you function really 100% on a relationship if you still have some baggage?
Mm-hmm.
Or they got baggage. Most time, I saved a lot of marriage. I do a lot of marriage counseling. Mostly because their baggage is conflicting, not them. They love each other, they want to be with each other, but they got these considerations and ideas, weird ideas. A lot of the ideas come from different cultures. They have a cultural clash, you don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is Italian, somebody comes from the Japan, actual situation. They're going to have a cultural clash. If they can't sort it out, the marriage ain't gonna last.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so you gotta clear out of that, you gotta clear out the second dynamic, and then groups. But once you clear the first dynamic, the other ones go pretty fast. It goes a lot, it's smooth,
Mm-hmm.
smooth road.
Okay.
I asked you a question,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you hear about me?
Oh, whenever I pitch stories for the RN&R, I always look through like 3 different calendars online, and I saw that the Free Zone Convention was coming up, and I'd never heard of Free Zone Scientology, and oh gosh, sorry, I'm not gonna get this, but we'll have to start the recording over. Sorry. Yeah, and so I read more about how it was completely independent from the church, and I felt like that was a very